Okay, every time we go live, right around 2. Internet unstable. Alright, so I kind of pissed off Stream Elements. Sorry about that. I went live and then I was like, wait, I didn't change the shit. I'm a little slow today. I'm not feeling that great. So I don't know if Stream Elements is going to choose to rejoin us. It might be mad at me. But we're actually on part 7, which is what I had to change. And I decided to change categories today, so I was like, fuck. Screen. I don't know how much of this I'm really gonna need. We don't have a whole lot to go, technically. Not sure. I hope everybody's having a decent Monday. I guess we're not really using all that much per color. One of those people that hates to use their supplies even though they got them to use them. It's like, it's crazy. It's a constant battle in my head. It's like, but if I use it, then I won't have it. It's like, girl, you still have like 2/3 of a ball of yarn of this color. Go fluff some more. Eventually the ball's gonna run out. Yes, that's what using it does. But then I won't have my precious anymore. Yeah, this is probably like way too much for this little tiny bit of space, but it also needs to be filled in a bit there. It's gonna be like crinkly noises next to the microphone, sorry. Not the microphone itself, it's coming from the plastic bags here. Alright, so we're just kind of pulling apart each color of fiber from its scrunched upness being in its plastic bag. And I'm just gonna kind of pull everybody apart together just to try to get our colors intermingled here. I don't have hand cards, which would probably be able to do this a little bit better with. Maybe someday we'll pick up a pair. I think they might be expensive as shit though. Although it might depend on brand and stuff, like most things. A little bit of water. Alright, if I'm a little extra distracted, I do apologize. Husband hasn't gotten up yet. I'm a little concerned he hasn't gotten up yet, but I don't know what time he went to bed. He was having a rough night last night. Like anxiety and stuff wise. So he was still kind of awake around 5, I think. Which he's usually long since fallen asleep by then. So I didn't want to get up. I know that much. I really didn't. And I got chosen by the cat. By my little vampire. Oh yeah, this is way too much. Girl, what did you do? You got carried away. My goodness. Boy, did we ever. Yep, we certainly did get carried away. Yeah, she actually sat on me. It's the first time she's done that. She does it with Russell all the time. But just as my alarm was going off and I had hit the snooze button on it, she climbed up on me and sat on my side and settled in. And I'm like, really? Now you're gonna do this? When I have to get up? Ma'am. What on earth? What on earth, ma'am? Oh, there we go. Stream Elements decided to not be mad anymore. Wonderful. Okay, so remember down in this section we skipped the brown. So I'm needing this to be a little bit more overlapped and a bit thicker down in here. But I still think I probably mixed a bit too much here. But this is a lot for this little space. Or at least it feels like it's a lot for this little space. Maybe it won't be. I'm just making sure that that's just light fluff that I'm seeing and not gray poking through the bottom. We had a scare with one of the crabs. Yesterday he was acting kind of funny, and then right as Russell was going to try to go to bed, he was out of his shell and he's like, oh no 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 no, and we don't know why. He put them in a quarantine cup with some other shells and sprayed him to make sure he wasn't going to dry out, and he picked a shell. We don't know if it was the same shell or if he picked a different one because we don't have the shells marked, because he said it's not really that good for them to mark it. He doesn't really believe in marking them, so we don't know if it was the same shell or not, because all of the shells are like the same color. Because he bulk bought some shells. Sorry, my voice is shit all of a sudden. He bulk bought some shells from like a shell warehouse or something. And they picked them, so he couldn't, like, he didn't get to hand pick. I am sorry, it is a really bad allergy time. I've not been up that long, so my voice is a little extra snotty. I apologize. It's kind of been like this off and on for the past couple of days. I don't really have any cough drops. Alright. Oh, I forgot to see. Look, I'm so discombobulated today. So we are following along with Bob Ross's Joy of Painting Season 3. Episode 9. The Old Mill. Link is now in the chat for anyone that wants to go and follow the original. Since we have the tutorial on pause a lot of the time. Because I can't needle felt as fast as Bob can paint. Wouldn't that be something if I could? That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're just working on filling in our grassy field over on this side here so that we can move on to the next bit. Which will probably be a bit more involved. Which will be working on our riverbank down in here. I don't know. We don't really have to put the riverbank in there just yet. I would kind of like to... Hi, meows. Little's here. What? Hi. We can't do cuddles right now, and you have food. I checked before we started. There's water in the bowl next to the bed. I cracked open the window for you. I think she wants cuddles, which can't happen right this very moment. Forgot what the hell I was saying. Oh yeah, so, I guess we don't technically have to put that bank in just yet. We could put it in after we do the water, and I kind of prefer to do it after the water, but then again, if the water's supposed to be sitting down in it, maybe it should go in first. If the water's gonna cover a little bit of it. Alright, so depending on how I'm feeling after dinner, which I don't know, it's kind of questionable right now, we might end up doing that bonus Planet Zoo stream tonight. We'll see. I would like to get that party area finished. Because the other tiki huts are going to kind of look like the same as the first one. I probably should have blueprinted it. Probably would have been the faster thing to do. There, whoops, we got a little too attached right there. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay. So I did try to get up sooner, but Kitten decided to lay on me. I did try. Had every intention of getting up sooner. When my alarm went off, mostly because I wanted to see what was up with the husband. I tried to check on the crab, but he made like a little tiny quarantine cage around him. And I don't know how deep it went. I don't know if it was just surface. And I couldn't really see through the mesh, and I didn't want to pick the mesh up. So I don't know what the state of the crab is at the moment. Okay, so let's trim that. He's still working on the first editing pass for me on the speed fill of the lighthouse. He's about halfway through it. This one was a little bit thicker, so the loose ends are being a little bit more time consuming to get attached on in here. Plus we're getting a little bunchy because the sides are tight and this is still all loose. You can see it more on the back where everything over here is like more pulled in and this is kind of like loose and wrinkly. That's because we're not working straight down, we're working around it. So hopefully when we go to put in the mill building here, everything on each side doesn't start splitting open like crazy as we pull our base fabric in another direction. Oh yeah, we're gonna have all sorts of extra on this, aren't we? I definitely got carried away. It didn't look like it was that much, to be perfectly honest. But I guess when you start layering that up against all of it, then it does pile up pretty quickly. I'm going to overlap our bottom pieces here. And like this section down in here is going to be a little more green than yellow, I think. Alright. Trying to make sure that we've got our pen line good and covered down in here. I might have to get up in a few minutes and take a quick, like, 2-minute break just to check on what I've got cooking on the stove for dinner. Because it already kind of got a little feisty with me on the stove once, unexpectedly. I was like, I have it on this, it'll be fine. And I walked in here and I was trying to finish getting set up, and then I heard a sizzle and I was like, oh no. It foamed over the edge of the pot. I'm like, why? Damn it. I was like, you shouldn't have gotten that crazy on me. Had you down low enough. But I ended up remembering we've got splatter shield that I use when I make spaghetti, so I'm gonna see if that helps with it. Keep it from getting a little too carried away there. I don't know how far we're getting today. I at the very least want to get our river started. That is what I would like to do. We will see if that ends up happening. So we're going to have a little bit of probably looseness right there on our line, at least until we get like the next color put in here. So a little bit of that pen line might be visible, but I think we'll be okay. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely some loose guys still down into here. Alright, so we're looking pretty good right in there. Oof, yeah, we're definitely got a bit extra here. Alright. for sure. Now this piece I'm probably going to have to overlap a little bit more. Okay, so got this next section here. You can tell that this side's a little bit thicker. It's raised up quite a bit in there. That one's a little more robust for sure. Okay. Well, this probably isn't the most exciting part, if this could be considered exciting. Alright. So I'm just gonna kind of fan that out just a little bit. I'm gonna have to do just another tiny little sliver on the edge, because this isn't quite enough to fill that in to where I'm gonna be happy with it. Okay, I was just making sure that that was indeed a shadow. Didn't want too many problems cropping up there. Okay. So I snipped this one before we were really attached on the rest of it. cat. Cat is bouncing around like a crazy person, jumping around in here. They shake my desk. This floor is very strange. Like somebody could step in another part of the floor and like my entire desk will shake. But when he's bounding around with all of his body weight, he's got all of it moving around. Okay. So, yeah, we did have a little bit extra here. That's okay. That's okay. So we're gonna end up coming a little bit over the outer edge, like we have been. And I'm gonna try to tap it in on the line. Now we might lose a little tiny bit of this just to clean up that outer edge, and that's okay. So I said our finished piece will be approximately 8 by 10. It won't be dead on 8 by 10. I would have to give myself maybe like a 1/4 of an inch extra buffer around the whole thing. And even then, I can't really guarantee that we would be spot on. Okay. So we've got all of that. Okay, so give me 1 second. I will be right back. I'm gonna put up the puppy potty break sign. I'll be right back. window just a tiny bit. I'm hot with my coat on and I'm cold with it off. Oh, I gave myself a headache earlier. Okay, we're back.
How did you give yourself a headache?
Okay, so sorry about that, you guys. Alright, so we are going to attempt to do our river color up there. So I'm switching up the river color. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but we're gonna do a little something something here. So I've got my medium gray. Alright. Just trying to separate out our fibers on that. I almost want a little bit more of that. So I might just take it all the way down. Alright, so we're going a little bit heavier here. I've noticed that as I'm gaining a little bit more confidence in what I'm doing, I'm a little more willing to like mix my fluff colors here. I'm gonna take a little bit of rich teal, a little bit, because he grabs something and dips it on in there, right? So I'm gonna just kind of, I don't want a whole lot of this. Like, I want it like barely kissed in there. That might even be too much. And I've got fluff everywhere. Come back in and grab just a little bit of our what was this? Taupe in the paint box, because taupe in the Big Twist is a different color. It's more brown than gray. Kind of like a smoky wood color. Alright, this kind of looks something like what Bob plopped on in there. Alright, I would comb this out with my Shreddy the Yarn Comb. However, I value my fingertips. So that's why we're doing it by hand. Like I said, if you guys have like the hand card things, that would probably blend this a bit better than doing it by hand. Probably get a little bit more of an even distribution here. Okay, let's see what we've got here. I'm just gonna get a little bit of water. And you don't have to make your river this exact color if you are following along. You can make it whatever color you, please. Okay. So I'm just kind of looking for my bottom edge here. And I'm probably gonna do this in chunks here. I think that'd probably be a little bit easier to deal with. I just have my finger, oh, that's why I wear the finger protectors. Just sitting gently on this outer edge here. I'm just kind of pushing against my section of fluff here sideways without stabbing down, just so I can find my line here. And once I find my line, then I'm gonna stab down. You know, I probably didn't necessarily have to cut that section, but I kind of felt like it would give us a little bit more control and would let me see a little bit better with what's going on. And then after we get this, and like we're not gonna see a whole lot of our river up in here because he's like got all of these like rapid swooshy bubbly water movement lines going on up into here. Let's see, is that, it's kind of showing up. It's kind of funny because I'll see it one way when we're doing our sketch. I'm just gonna tack that down over there. That side's not, that little light bit's not necessarily coming in with everybody else. I just don't want it sticking up everywhere. But it's kind of funny. I'll see stuff one way when we're doing our sketch, and then when we get down to like the bare bones of what we're doing and what's going on and stuff, I'll start to see it a different way. And that's totally fine. Just because our test sort of concept fleshing out the idea sketch went one way, we can totally adjust it, or maybe change the direction a little bit once we get in here, or we could decide that we were just not in the right headspace the day that we did the test sketch and be like, what on earth is this? What was I doing? What was I thinking? This is nothing like what he's done. And just change it up. I mean, we're allowed to. We're allowed to change our minds. So I'm a little bit separated here. I'm gonna grab my... I'm probably gonna have to mix more of this, actually. Because this does seem a bit thick here. Okay. I'm just going to overlap a little bit where these two guys are going to meet up. And this is where our light gray background will actually work in our favor. Because in this section, since our water is a grayish color, if I do have any splits or openings that I didn't notice, it could actually look like a little bit of a highlighty spot. Now we know Bob loves to bring the reflections down into the water and stuff, but I haven't found a good way yet to pull that off. I think it would have to be done really painstakingly, where it just didn't look like a mess. So a lot of the times I just omit that. Omit it, skip it. Whatever the right word is there. If I figure out a way to get it done where it doesn't look terrible and it actually looks like a reflection, then I'll attempt to do them a bit more often. It might be more of a thing where you just have to take like 2 or 3 strands and slowly do it. And that might be a little too fussy for me. It would certainly be a bit delicate depending on where you're trying to make that happen. I am coming back up into the riverbank here as we're going, just to make sure that everybody up here is attached still, that I didn't pull anybody too loose. Okay. So I mean, we're getting there. We've got a little bit of color variation in there. You can kind of see that. Alright, so I'm gonna start to curve this guy around. But we're definitely making some headway here. I don't really see too much of our light color in this section that I kind of tossed. Oh, there's a little bit of it. So it must be really deeply embedded in there, but I didn't add that much either. You can kind of see a little bit of our blue flecks here and there. Not sure if we really needed to add that after all. Try not to lose too much of our blue color when I have to pull off a chunk here. Just a little bit more blue. I mean water. Like water, not like blue water. Like water, real water, wet water. Oh my goodness. Alright. So, again, oh, hey Zorts. Thanks for the resub. Appreciate it. You know, that stupid dry water out here. Yeah, no. My brain's not where it should be today. I was thinking the blue color of the water that I had added in here as we're putting in the river, and too many water references. So, sorry I was gone a couple extra minutes. I went to check on the husband after I checked on dinner, and he was just kind of getting up, and then had to tell me the saga of everything that happened after I fell asleep. Neighbor called asking if we still had her spare key to get into the house from when we were looking after her dog the last time she was away, and we're like, no, the person that was looking after the dog, we think your granddaughter, the last time, locked herself out. You wanted it back. We gave it back to you. You never gave it back to us because you didn't want us to have the spare key anymore since you had somebody else taking care of the dog. And Russell offered to go have another one made, and she never really responded to that. And then he gets a call at 8 o'clock this morning. You have a spare key? No. You took the spare key back from us. Why? Oh, well, her granddaughter locked herself out of the house again. Because her granddaughter is staying at her house, taking care of the dog while she's away. She's having some kind of surgery done on her back in Kansas. I'm like, really? She's gonna be gone for like a couple of months, I think. I'm like, they couldn't do this here? Apparently not. So, we're like, well, we don't know what the fuck to tell you because we don't have it. You either need to find a different family member that has a spare key, or you're gonna have to get a locksmith. Or break a window and pay for the window to get fixed. Like, these are your options. None of them great, but, you know. What do you want? So how is Zorts today? And Russell's doctor's office called because he had called in his prescription. I guess he didn't have any more refills. They're like, yeah, we need to see you in November. His doctor's so busy. Like the end of November, he's like, we need to see you. We'll refill it for now, but we need to see you again before we refill it again. Last time he was there, they didn't like his vitamin D levels. They're like, it's too low. Yeah, because he never goes outside in the sun. Like, never. I'm like, come on, let's go for a walk. It's nice out. He doesn't like going out when it's light out. But I don't blame him. The traffic is a little obnoxious during the day. It's loud and annoying, and but he got a light lamp, and I don't know if he's like a sunlight lamp with like a special bulb in it. And he did have some supplements at one point, but I think those long ran out. We really haven't had the money to replace them. You're okay? That's good. Kind of gave myself a headache earlier. So I'm not real happy about that. Really need to do another Planet Zoo stream tonight. It's easier to stream it than it is to record it, because then I have to fucking edit it. And editing takes time. And I'd rather just stream it. But I definitely need to do something this week. I know Russell's like, oh, I'm really not ahead of you now. I'm like, no, I'm still behind you. I still haven't finished my party area. Like, I'm further behind than you think I am. Uh-oh. I thought I had pulled that up. Apparently I didn't. Okay. Alright. On that note, let's turn that guy. Okay. So we need to get... We have like little intricate spaces that we need to fill in with our river here. Did we not think this through? Probably not. Probably not. Not sure how I feel about this one yet. I think I'll feel a little bit better about it once we start getting our building put in there. He got up and then he vanished. I don't know where the hell he went. Maybe he's in the shower. So we checked on the crab. The crab might still be alive. He's still in his shell. In the new, well, the shell that he shoved himself back into. But we don't know if he's still alive. I said, well, should you touch him and see if he reacts? And he goes, no, I don't want to touch him yet. He goes, he might be trying to surface molt again. And he's like, I don't want to touch him because that could stress him. And then his molt might not be successful. They are rather sensitive critters. It would seem. And Zuzu was acting stupid yesterday. I was so tired. I was in bed by like 9 o'clock last night. Also was like, oh, I'll come give you scratches and cuddles in a few minutes. And I was like, okay. And I was laying there trying to read. And I put my Kindle down maybe 15 minutes later because the words kept blurring and I could feel myself starting to nod. And I closed my eyes, and next thing I know, I woke up to a weird noise. It was his alarm going off for his pill. And I was like, oh, I need to pee. I think I fell back asleep before I got up to pee. And hold on. Hang on, I need to look at the bigger copy of this photo. For, I think, you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going?
Get cat litter.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if you were still doing that.
Yeah, I feel a little bit better after I got my nap in, so I can go try to get that and see how it goes.
There it is. Okay, so where am I supposed to... Okay, we'll take this. This is a pole here, blocking that sight line. So that's why I left that open, and we will take this down to here. And then over here. We had never gotten the full run that we needed to do at Sam's done. We did a partial because my mom was with us and she gets like paper towels and toilet paper, and she pays for our bulk meat since I cook dinner for her every night. That was the arrangement that we made since we dropped how much she gives us a month, since, you know, when it was her and my dad and all of my dad's medical devices and stuff constantly running on the electricity and everything. Since it's just her, she's like, well, there's not as much money because I don't have him now, and but she helps buy some of like the groceries and stuff. And picked up the water bill. Got caught in the front of that. Okay, so that's gonna come this way, and then this is gonna fill in down here, I think, is what we're gonna end up doing there. This is some kind of weird mechanism. This is some kind of weird mechanism. This gets filled in this way. He doesn't do it yet though, and I almost want to do this before I do this. So I'm gonna sit that to the side. He does some rapidy thingies in here. Let me see if I can not get caught up on my wire here. Let's see if we can find it. He does that side. Okay, so then he's starting to do the building. Let me back that up. Back that truck up, Bob. Okay. So, yeah, we got that going. Mother-in-law hasn't come back yet. She asked us to order her something, so it was here when she got here. We're like, okay. But she never said if she left yet. Russell thought she was leaving on the 14th. I don't fucking know. This is some roving. I didn't feel like getting up to go find the white I had. So, do we want to just like... How do we want to do this? Like, do we just want to do like squiggle lines, or like I don't want to do my little circles that I usually do to indicate. Maybe we'll do some thin lines and then we'll do some circles, but not like a shit ton. Just grabbing some more water here. The water works really well on the roving. It still works fairly well with the acrylic yarn. It seems to work a little better on the roving because it likes to stick to itself a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna take you over the edge just a little bit. So how's work been? You work tonight? Or you actually have a night off? If you're even still here. Which you might not be. People like to wander. I think the water level in that pot on the stove is probably still good. I don't smell anything burning. I'm really hoping this ibuprofen kicks in, man. I have stuff I have to do. I have to shampoo a rug because I have no idea when she's showing up. I was supposed to do it last week. However, I realized we were almost out of puppy pads, and I used the puppy pads to try to pull out any excess moisture that didn't get pulled out of the rug from the shampooer, because it's not the greatest shampooer. And I've certainly put it through its paces. We could really use a new one. But this one's still somewhat working, so, you know, don't really have the money to replace it right now, so it's fine. I'll make it work. And it helps the rug dry a little bit faster, so my mom's not slipping walking out into the kitchen. And I went to go do it, and I was like, oh shit, wait, we have like 5 puppy pads left, and I'm gonna need like 3 of them. So we had to quick order puppy pads, and then we're like waiting for them to show up, and we ordered them on Prime, and I'm like, where the fuck are the puppy pads, Russell? I thought they were on Prime when you ordered them. He goes, they were. And, because we use his mom's Prime account. And, they were like, oh, won't be here till Monday. Won't be here till Monday. I'm like, Monday? Where the fuck are they coming from? Like, what on earth? Like, we ordered them, like, on a Wednesday. I'm like, 2-day shipping. What the hell? Oh, that didn't sound good. Oh my goodness. Truck. School bus. Whatever the fuck you are. You need to get your brakes looked at, my dude. Damn. That was not it. That was not it, my friend. That's a terrifying sound when you live like 2.5 yards from the edge of the road. When a dump truck has already taken out the telephone pole once at the corner of your driveway. Sent your neighbor's mailbox and chunks of that telephone pole flying past your front porch. Yeah, no thanks. No thank you. I can do without that. No thanks. if he hadn't veered towards the church. And thankfully there were no kids out at daycare on the church playground. I actually think that dump truck might have been what caused them to put the fence in around the playground, because I don't think they had a fence before. Although a dump truck versus a metal fence, dump truck's gonna win, obviously, but... it's still not something I would like to repeat, and I know it was an extenuating circumstance where the driver was allegedly under the influence. And coming to after being on a meth bender, allegedly. That was some wild times, because apparently his girlfriend, allegedly, well, no, she was, we saw her, was in the truck with him. And when it came to a stop, she took off running, and they had to chase her down for leaving the scene of an accident. And she had allegedly, supposedly run because she may allegedly have had warrants out. I'm not sure how I feel about these water lines. Maybe we should have just done... because, like, they're not the same as his, because he kind of went, like, across. I don't know how I feel about this. Supposedly, if you have a seam ripper, you can pull out stuff a little bit easier if you're not happy with it. I generally don't like to, because then I feel like I fuck up everything. That I did like. I'm not feeling that. See if Russell catches that to, if he removes it or if I'll have to on a final edit. Okay, so I still think we can use this. Alright, so what if we... Kit Kat, what you doing? If we do more like this. I almost kind of feel like maybe we should have left that water line in there, but this is tiny. It's hard to work with. Alright. So we'll get that guy put in there. why do all of these heavy trucks, why are all of their brakes so squealy? Oh my goodness, the trauma. I'm just glad our house didn't have too much damage. I mean, we had roof damage from that stupid dump truck taking out the telephone pole. Right, so the dude veered. This was a few years ago. The dude hit our neighbor's mailbox, destroyed it, like snapped its post in half. It was laying in our driveway. It would have smashed into the side window or the side door of our car. Potentially broke a car window if Russell had been home and the car had been parked there, because that was our side of the driveway to park on. And then, but he was at work at the time. And then it snapped the telephone pole. It like hit it and a chunk of the top got ripped off, and it like pulled, and the wires on the end of that telephone pole were connected to a connection point on our roof, and it like ripped the connection point. And so we had to have an electrician come out. We had to have a roofer come out. The roofer couldn't fix the roof damage until the electrician fixed the wire connection. It was a whole huge fiasco. I should have called Russell home from work and been like, hey, I need you to come home. I need you to deal with some bullshit. Because the electric company told us, oh, because this was an accident, we'll come out as soon as the repairs are made. It doesn't matter what time. We're like, really? And they're like, yeah. We're like, okay. So we started calling them at like 4 in the afternoon. We're like, hey, the damage is fixed. We need somebody to come out and reconnect our power from a car accident. And then the call center is like, yeah, okay, we'll put it in the computer. Somebody will be out there soon. 4:30 showed up. 4:45, we're calling back. We're like, hey. Oh, yep, it's in our computer. Somebody should be there soon. 5:30. Russell gets home at 6. Told him what's going on. He calls them. And they're like, oh, well, there's nobody in your area right now, so it won't be until, like, tomorrow. And we're like, no, that's not what we were told by the line guys that were here. We have no power. This needs to be fixed now. Yeah, no, nobody's gonna be there till morning. What the fuck? We had to run out and buy a fucking cooler, get ice. What happened to that cooler? I don't think we got rid of it. Maybe it's in our shed. And start trying to salvage some of the stuff from our fridge and freezer. My dad's medication had to be on ice at the time, had to be cold. And I'm like, we lost all of the food in our freezer. We had it packed. Lost everything in there. We should have fucking submitted that food receipt to the goddamn insurance company. That was paying to have the roof fixed. Their insurance company. Kids walking by after school. And I didn't think about it until after the fact. So we had to get a copy of the police report, and it was a fucking disaster. So I don't know how much of this we're gonna see, because I'm gonna have grass coming up into here, so some of this might get obscured. Alright. Getting more and more nervous about a court date that's coming up, or anxious about it. We're supposed to have a meeting with our lawyer. Well, his lawyer, really. I think it's going to be an over-the-phone meeting. We're supposed to have it, I think, 2 weeks before the hearing. She's going to explain a little bit more about how it's going to happen. I think once she finds out a little bit more about this particular judge, because I don't think she knows that much about him or her. I don't know, I'm not really feeling the lines. Maybe I do need to make them little circle Jews. Just, I don't know, I'm not... Feels a little stiff. Maybe we just need to be a little more chaotic here. Yeah, it's a little better. Maybe. Maybe. Whew. I like gave myself a fucking muscle spasm or something on the one side of my neck after I woke up. It's like just taking over my brain. Easy, Momo. No, 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 no. We're not going out yet. No, no. It's not time yet. Not time yet. I just didn't want you hurting yourself scratching. Alright, so if we make this a little chaotic, these guys are hard to maneuver here. They start getting smaller. Yeah, I think I just had them a little too stiff in there, maybe. Hi, Littles. Now Little is here. So, there's a chance. There's a chance, a small chance. Oh, fuck. Sound like air brakes outside. There's a small chance we might be getting more dupe dupes down the road. We might be getting more of our fuzzy potato friends. There's a chance. Not yet. Not yet. We're talking like a few months from now. Maybe. Every time I'm in the kitchen, not every time, but a lot of the times I'll be out in the kitchen, and when our freezer goes into defrost, when it's running through its cycles, it makes this noise that the guinea pigs would always make when they were being all happy and exploring their cage, or we were giving them their fresh food and stuff for the day, and or their dinner or whatever, and they make these like doop 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 noises, and our freezer makes that noise, our fridge freezer. And every time I'm out there and it starts making it, I'm like, Russell, the fridge is haunted. The fridge freezer is haunted by guinea pigs. I said, if this thing starts making their little weet noises at the top of its lungs while I'm out here doing something, we're gonna have a problem. I'll tell you that much right now. And then he was like, he's like, well, maybe down the road. He's like, they don't have that long of a lifespan, because we have to think about, down the road, and if we might have to move and what we're going to do, and it's going to be rather difficult to transport small fuzzy critters across any distance if we end up moving out of state, and which we probably will. Because we're like, well, cats live a long time, so we wouldn't be doing any more cat action until we figured that out. We've got too many cats now as it is. And he's like, but we could potentially get more fuzzy potatoes. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I miss the bastards. He was never really that big of a fuzzy potato fan. I kind of wanted a bunny. He's like, no bunny. He goes, do you know how much them fuckers poop? I was like, do you know how much the fucking guinea pigs pooped? He goes, it's worse than the guinea pigs. I'm like, are you sure? I don't think anything poops more than the guinea pigs. He goes, no, I had a rabbit. It's much, much worse. I'm like, I don't know. I think you're fucking with me. He goes, no, it really is. It's like, all right. We talked about maybe getting like a cockatiel or something, but I don't think I can handle the screechiness when I have a migraine. That probably wouldn't be a good idea, although they fascinate me. But bird and cats don't mix either, so pretty sure our cats would try to eat them. So I wouldn't really be able to be out of the cage very much, so we'd have to make sure that we got a big enough cage that they could maneuver around in. Bird cages are expensive. Like the really big ones. Shockingly expensive. But I can't reuse my old cage setup. We'd have to do something new. And Russell kind of wants to custom it. He's like, well, maybe we can get like an old set of cabinets or drawers or something, and then custom fit it. I'm like, yeah, but the stain and the paint, and goes, no, like just use that as the shell, and we'll make it so they can't get to that to chew on it, and we'll line it with like the coroplast and stuff. Because you can buy coroplast sheets from the company that we got our cage stuff from. And because like we line it with that, and it'll be easier to clean because then we can custom put our own doors on it. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I think if we just got another cage set up that we could open from the top. I think our cage situation was so difficult to clean that we had was because it was 2 stories. The final iteration of the cage was 2 stories, and we had to switch from, oh shit, we had to switch from a top open that made it easier to clean to a at like shin height to a side open, like thigh height and chest height. Or wait, was that cage 3 stories? Was it 2 stories or was it 3 stories? It was 3 stories, but it was only 2 story of animal housing. The bottom story, the floor level was cubbies that I had put there. There's stuff in. Alright, this needs to be a little bit more frothy. In here. And the cage wasn't, I mean, it was sturdy, but it could have been more sturdy. Because it was basically just held together with fucking zip ties and luck. Mostly. Alright, so I'm trying to get some rounds of this in here. So I didn't get as far as I wanted to today, but I also got a little bit of a late start today too. Well, not really late. We were on time for us. I was hoping to start early, but that didn't end up happening, unfortunately. I mean, we got a little bit done these last two sessions. We finished up this in here. We got some shading in on here. We got our river started. We got this filled in over here. So this is around the bottom of the wheel, like where the water is going to come splashing down on this back side. So I'm trying to get a bit more water movement happening over there. I'll tell you, I'm hungry. We are having bourbon beef cubes and rice. with green beans tonight. It was really a bourbon chicken sauce recipe that I found. There's no actual bourbon in it. I don't know why they call it bourbon chicken, but they do. It's more of like an apple juice, brown sugar, ketchup, vinegar kind of sauce. It's not a very thick sauce unless I'm doing something wrong, which I probably am. But I like it, and I had a whole bunch of beef cubes, so I was like, you know what? I like the sauce better on beef than I do chicken. Hey, girl. You've been very cuddly today. Little Bits is here. I was so excited I got chosen. That's part of the reason why we didn't get started earlier. As soon as my alarm went off, she climbed up on me and plopped down on my rib cage and stayed. That's usually only a thing that she does with Russell. And I was like, oh, we're friends now. I've been trying to win her love with treats lately. Like people food treats, like a piece of chicken, a tiny piece of beef that had no seasoning on it, you know. I think that's why she tends to supervise me when I'm in the kitchen. What you got? You got anything for me? I want that. So I'll usually, if I'm cooking something that I think the dogs can eat, I will pull a little bit of it to the side before I start seasoning everything and saucing it to put in their dinner, so they feel a little more included and they're more willing to eat their damn dog food. Alright, that should be, maybe one more. Get that good and frothified as much as it can be. Alright. This pressure headache's like making me feel loopy. It's not fun. It's really not. It's making it hard to concentrate. It's probably why this took so many iterations before I'm somewhat okay with it. Alright, now I'm not going to do the lines in between the thingies. I decided that looked weird. So this is where we're at. So next week, Sunday, you consider Sunday next week, because it's Monday, we'll start our building here. We'll start to work on our roof and go from there. Even if I have to jump around a bit more, I want to get this done because this is very loose and the outer edges are tight, and this is getting kind of bunchy in here. You can tell more from the back. It's just, we're very stiff over in here. I've got a lot of layers in here, but I want to start working on this. He put in his riverbank down here. Like, he brought it all the way around. He didn't go straight to the bottom, but this all had riverbank in it. We're not doing that because this isn't paint and it's a lot harder to layer like that on this, and I didn't want to waste the extra yarn if I didn't really need it, because this is going to get solidly colored. So next week we'll start in on this guy, and that should be interesting. It's the first time working on something like this. We'll see if we can still kind of pull the idea off when we get down to it. We'll see. I'm nervous about this one. This just might end up being a hot disaster. We'll see though. We'll see. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thanks for the resub again, Source. Appreciate it. If you have work tonight, I hope it's not too bad. If it's a stream night, then have fun streaming. we're gonna try, hopefully I'll be feeling up to it, we're gonna try to do a bonus Planet Zoo stream later tonight. Don't know what time to look for that at. Maybe around, I don't know, maybe around 8 p.m.-ish. Just make sure your notifications are turned on here. That way, when we go live, you guys will know it. I'm gonna go see about dinner. You guys have a good day. If I don't see you later tonight, then I hope to see you on Thursday for Coral Island. Don't forget to follow the socially do's down below. And I'll catch you next time.